Do you play fantasy football? Do you use a cheat sheet on draft day? Do you have Microsoft Excel? If you said yes to these three questions, then we've got the Fantasy Football Draft Tool for you. The Executive Draft Master is brought to you by FantasyDraftTools.com and the Fantasy Football Mastermind, FFMastermind.com. Let's get into a quick demo of the tool. What we have here is a scoring sheet. Every position broken down by statistical category where you assign the points based on your league settings. Over here we have our draft board and league settings. You pick how many teams are in your league, how many roster spots are in each team. For those of you in an auction draft, what the minimum auction price is, as well as what the salary cap option is. If it's the same, everybody gets 200, 205, whatever it is. And if it's individual, you change it over here. Perfect for keeper leagues that transfer money from year to year. The draft type, whether it's a standard draft or whether it's an auction draft. If it's an auction draft, you have to populate how many of each position down here on the bottom. When you're all ready with your league settings, simply click this Recalculate Projections and Build Draft Board button, and we will update our projections based on your league settings. So what we have here is cheat sheets for each position along the bottom here, as well as a master list that brings them all together into one. Let's go take a look at the quarterback real quick. What you have here is your ranking, the fantasy tier, whether or not the player is rising and falling, the starting auction value. That's the auction value before any picks are made and any dollar is spent. The current auction value. This gets updated throughout the draft as money is spent and picks are made. So if people are overspending, these numbers are going to go down. But if people are getting players at deals, these numbers are going to go up. We have all the other projections for each player, and then we have an accumulated fantasy points. This is based off of your league settings against our projections, calculating fantasy points. Let's say you want to see who's going to have the most passing touchdowns. You can go up here, pick passing touchdowns, and it'll sort it based dynamically. Well, who's going to throw the most interceptions? Very customizable. Let's go make a draft pick. So we head over to the draft board tab. What you'll see is a bunch of blue buttons up top. The red button corresponds to the team that we're currently on. So if I want to toggle to, say, the Ducks, I click the Ducks. Now I'm looking at the Ducks. Head back to the Birds, Dogs, so on and so forth. When you're ready to draft a player, click this Draft Player button. Pick whatever position we're looking at. Say Ray Rice. He went to the Dogs. $34. Simply click this Draft Player button, and now Ray Rice is on the Dogs for $34. Very easy, very fast. Another way to do it. Let's say you want to draft a wide receiver, and the wide receiver was Randy Moss. $29. Easily update his information as well. Now, notice we've added these two numbers together, and those two numbers give you the total spent so far of the $63. Since there's a $200 salary cap, he's got $137 to go, and the one player max is $118. That assumes you're going to spend $1, which was the minimum auction value, on the rest of these positions, while spending $118 on this last position. Very handy at the end of the draft, or at any point in the draft, that you need to know how much can I spend on this guy. So now we've gone ahead and made some more draft picks. So let's take a look at a couple of things that have happened. As you make draft picks, each player is crossed off and highlighted in red on the individual cheat sheets. Also, the current auction value is populated of what they went for. So as you can see, Matt Schaub is still available. His starting auction value is $21, but the amount of money that's been spent, he's going to go for $30 now. Very dynamic. On the draft board, we have a summary. So within this summary, you have an individual team's rosters. Want to change this? Click these buttons over here. If you want to see what's going on for each team, read left to right. So the one player max for the Dogs is 43, total spent, total left. There's your team. The positional tracker of how many at each position the player has drafted. Here's your player pool, where it has your each position and who's available to be picked. When you're done, we can exit back to the draft board. We can head over to the All Teams grid. Now the All Teams grid gives you a nice big sticker board feel for those of you that are used to that. The one thing we have that those big sticker boards doesn't have is the ability to sort it by position. So right now it's sorted by how it's been drafted. But you want to group them together, click this button. And automatically, color-coded, every position is grouped together. Very easy on the eyes to know who's looking for what and who needs what. Remember, fantasydrafttools.com. Fantasy football starts with the draft, so don't blow it.